Hi there, Dennis here with Refined Memories, and today I wanted to create a short little video that explains the basics of using manual mode on your camera. If you're learning photography and you just got your camera and you want to learn a few things, this should help you out. Your aperture is the hole in your lens. It's what lets the light come in. A larger aperture, such as f/22, actually lets in less light than, say, a smaller aperture of f/2.8, which lets in more light. It's a little confusing, I know. Basically, you have to think big aperture number, little light, small aperture number, more light. Your aperture is also responsible for depth of field. If you have a larger aperture number, such as f/22, then you're going to have more area of the photo that is in focus. Whereas if you have a smaller aperture number, such as f/2.8, you're going to have much less that's in focus. This is what's responsible for those buttery, smooth, blurred out backgrounds that you see in many photos. The next thing is your shutter speed. The shutter speed also controls how much light gets into your sensor. The higher the shutter speed, the less light that hits the sensor, because if the shutter speed's going fast, then the shutter is open for less time, and that allows for less light. Whereas if the shutter speed is lower, a lower number, then the shutter speed is open for longer, allowing for more light to come in. However, this comes at a cost. If the shutter speed is too low and the camera or the subject is moving, this can introduce motion blur. For action sports or other subjects that are moving quite fast or rapidly, you'll want to increase your shutter speed to a higher value to avoid the motion blur, unless you're trying to achieve this through some kind of creative result. Now, in some cases, once you have your aperture set and your shutter set and you can't change them, whether it be for the purpose of creativity or because you're shooting action sports and you just can't change any of those settings, yet you still need more light, your photo is still underexposed, you have one more option to help compensate for the lack of light, and that's ISO. ISO is like a volume knob. When you turn it up, it brightens the exposure. It doesn't actually add more light, it just brightens what is already there. It increases it or amplifies the brightness. However, this comes at a cost, and that cost is noise, or grain as some people call it. In most cases, it's best to keep ISO as low as possible. However, if you've already got your exposure set and you've got your aperture and your shutter speed where they need to be, and you cannot lower either one of them to increase more light, then you may have no choice but to raise your ISO. Understanding these three settings will lead you to understanding your camera better and understanding how each of these settings work with each other. The key to it is finding a balance between all three of them. Alright, that's it for me, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed this little video and I hope it helps you. Until next time, see you later.